Our top story, the city of Mumbai is all set for a massive hike in property taxes, with the state government looking at a hike of up to 40%. Does this spell further gloom for Mumbai's already overpriced real estate market? And who will be the most affected by the hike in property taxes? Nikhil Sivadas reports.
Pricey Mumbai real estate is all set to get even more expensive, with the BMC moving to a capital value-based property tax system, which could see property taxes hiked anywhere up to 40%.
I think the whole of south of Bombay, which is where the old buildings are rented from very old, long time, that is where the impact will be huge. The rentals are very low because of the rent control. Now suddenly if you move from there to the capital value definitely are far higher. So you will have to pay far higher property taxes in that area. So the new emerging areas like Mulund, Vikhroli, parts of Goregaon are the areas which will get impacted the most, because there the ready reckoning increase has been the highest. Now, so we are assessing anything between 10% to or 15% to around 40% increase.
While an increase in property taxes might seem like it would depress demand for housing, developers don't seem too worried.
For instance, if in case he is going to buy an apartment of say 1 crore rupee, his property tax will range between say 70,000 rupees to around say 1 lakh rupee, depending on which location he is in. That is far lesser than what he is going to spend on the apartment or the EMI. So therefore, I am saying the impact may not be today, but yes, after 5 years when he has taken the possession of the apartment, he has to pay the EMIs, he has to pay the property tax. That is when he will start to feel the heat.
While developers may be confident that a hike in property taxes will not affect demand, there's no denying that the cost of ownership is set to rise. Here, one silver lining is that apartments of less than 500 square feet, which form about 70% of the housing stock in the city, have been exempted from paying these taxes for the next 5 years. However, experts say this puts an unfair burden on home buyers looking at larger apartments.
In my view, that 40% sounds a bit high, especially for the high-end societies and the high-end apartments. Unfortunately, that 1 to 1.5 crore kind of a market, in that market, developers are yet not doing less than 500 square feet. It is still higher than 500, because that's where if a developer feels that if a buyer is willing to pay 1.5 crore, then would definitely go for something like a 2 BHK or 2.5, etc., etc. So that segment is once again a segment which is not exempt under the new property tax regime that we are talking about.
With 1 crore plus apartments being the norm in Mumbai, the new taxes will be a factor in home buyers deciding whether to buy or rent a home in Mumbai. However, these higher property taxes will mean bad news for rental housing too.
A landlord would not obviously pay this extra property tax from his or her pocket. So this, the impact of it, whatever it is, whether it is a mere 1,000, 1,500 rupees or going up to say 25, 30,000 rupees or whatever, that impact obviously will be passed on to somebody who's taking the property on leave and license. And that impact will be felt, so your rental values or the leave and license costs will obviously shoot up in times to come.
For now, experts and developers are sure that the proposed hike will not affect demand. But what about demand from the average home buyer who will have to juggle the additional tax on top of expensive EMIs? That's a segment that may just prove them wrong. From Mumbai, Nikhil Sivadas, NDTV.